God damn it, this topic makes me too mad. I don't even sound coherent sometimes. Honestly, it's getting annoying at this point. They keep focusing on graphics. Why do you want to make it so realistic, bro? What's the point? Like, look at this. They all end up looking the same. Like, it makes no difference. No game has their own identity anymore. It's all blended into this one hot pot, and now it all just looks like one thing. It's one dish now. As graphics are getting better, our creativity is lowering because nobody's thinking for themselves anymore. They're just letting the tools do the work. It's good enough now to do it on its own. Let's do it. And then these consoles are improving to support that idea. You know, they're increasing like, oh, we're going to have now 120 frames per second. Oh yeah. And then we're going to do what? You know what we're going to do? In the performance mode, you're going to have 240 frames per second. It's like, bro, what are you doing here, man? You know, I'm not saying they don't need to advance. Of course, technology should keep advancing. You know, keep moving forward is what I say. I love AI. You know, it has its problems and how it's implemented, sure. But at the end of the day, that's the future. We got to accept it. But what I'm saying is the way they're using these tools, they're just completely abandoning what they were meant to be. It's like they didn't even think about how they're going to use these tools, but they were just like, oh, let's keep moving forward. And every time they were questioned like, okay, so what are we going to do with this exactly? And they look at them like, let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep making it better. We don't even have a vision for what we're going here. Like nobody cares about the extra lights and stuff, you know? Ooh, it's reflecting now 5 rays of light instead of 1. Can you believe that? 5 rays all happening at the same time? Like, sure, it's cool from a technical standpoint, but how are you going to implement that, you know? Like, the first thing we got to look at is these companies, they need to start focusing on their stuff that matters. And with the hype these new technology advancements are getting, all these fucking losers that keep focusing on the wrong stuff, they just end up gravitating towards the hype again. It's like a human centipede on a cycle. They're just cannibalizing themselves. Look, I get it. You know, there are some instances where you might need something like that. Let's say COD or multiplayer online games where you need the frames. Sure, you're a competitive player, you're playing against the pros, you virgin, and you need those frames. Fine. I can accept that, but still, you know, I don't even know how it got this way. Because you look at the market, the whole market gravitates towards stylized art. You know, you look at the Nintendo Switch. When the Nintendo Switch showed up to the scene, it was considered like the Auga car, you know? When you honk it, you gotta press on the balloon thing and it honks auga. That's what it was compared to the competitors. The PS4 and the Xbox One, it still rivaled the PS4. And obviously, I mean, Xbox One, that's not even part of the competition.
It's a coffee table.
And you look at Nintendo's games, I don't even think they have a realistic looking game in their lineup. There's actually none that look realistic. I'm just not realizing this. They sell Pokemon, they sell Mario, they sell Zelda, they sell Pikmin, they sell fucking Metroid. None of these things look realistic, but for some reason, oh my God, they keep doing that, right? They keep going to that realism when they don't even know what they're doing it for. Like, just imagine if the Assassin's Creed franchise was more stylized art, you know? Like, if they went to every setting in every era and they used the art that was prominent during that time for the art style for the game. Like Japanese art would have the traditional brushes. Italy, like Ezio's time, it'd be like Renaissance, you know, impressionist painting style. I don't know how they would implement that, but if they had to at least lean towards that direction, just try to go a little bit towards that, it would look so much better. It really doesn't make any sense because they're not even making money out of this approach. Before, you could release games every year and you could sell them the full price because people would buy it. You know, it's a sequel. You're making a proper sequel. It deserves the full price. But it didn't take that long. Now it takes 10 years. Bro, a whole decade we're waiting for a game. Like, dude, GTA 6 is still on a wait. It's been 11 years. And counting. 11 years and counting. What are we talking about here? These development times have gotten so long. And it becomes this weird thing where they have to keep investing every year, right? They gotta spend on their employees, marketing, whatever. So now it becomes this thing where they have to make a surefire hit. Because it's not enough to just make, you know, $100,000. No. They spend $100 million on that. They're not gonna make $100,000. What the hell are we gonna do that for? Let's just make something people are gonna buy. Trashy game, some idiot's gonna buy and they're just gonna play it. So they're just gonna do that, something that gives them the big bucks. And they have to because that's their business model. They just bank their expectations on this large return, right? Like you look at the God of War series, right? The first 6 games of God of War, I mean, 3 of them were spin-offs, fine. Still, 6 games came out in the span of 8 years, dude. That's like a game a year, I think. You know, maybe like a little less or a little more than a game a year. Whatever. It was a lot of games for 8 years, at least compared to the standards we have now. Like these high fidelity graphics, they just start looking so generic. It's all grainy. Like it looks like the faces don't move well. It feels off every time they talk. And I'm not just calling out Outlaws, you know. Even look at Horizon. There was still some sense of offness to their facial movement. It just felt off. You know how you know it is off? Because you compare it to Uncharted 4 or Last of Us Part 2, and you see their faces are moving so well.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
They actually spent time into that because they knew what they were going for. They were trying to tell a human story. They wanted you to experience proper, complex human emotions through these characters. And the best way to convey those feelings is through the face. Those tiny little adjustments of the eyes, those bites of the lip, whatever it is. And so everything aligned with that goal. So they were able to make this game that, even though maybe the story isn't the greatest for Last of Us Part 2, you can tell it's a state-of-the-art technology used on that game. Realistic art has its place. You know, it increases the immersion of the experience, right? You get to experience these human feelings in its full depth, the way you need to experience them. You know, high fidelity has a reason, but so many people just don't think about what they're trying to make. What is the vision we have here? You just, oh, we can make something look realistic? That's so cool. Do it, do it, do it. And they just do it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't even have any problem with realistic graphics. It's just they do it to a detriment. They do it to a point where you're like, well, this could have been so much cooler if it was something else. Or you could have had so much more identity if you tried something else. And this is also true because you look at old games, right? The ones that stood the test of time are the ones that had stylized art. Because at the end of the day, you're subject to the tools that is available to you right now when you're aiming for high fidelity graphics. And those tools get better with time. We just got a double increase in light ray reflection on the PS5 Pro. So guess what? PS5's outdated. You're not going to get those extra light rays. Hell yeah. It's the future. Cyberpunk is almost here. I'm telling you. I feel like I got to go into these headquarters and just slap them and be like, yo, what are you doing? Focus on graphics again? I better not catch you doing that. I got to become the boogeyman of the industry. The graphics boogeyman. Anyways, I think that's all I had to say. Peace. I still don't know how to do an outro.